For 13 years, our congregation had no permanent home, no sanctuary, no Christian ed facilities. In fact, they had no way of knowing how long they could meet in any given spot. In the winter, they looked for warm places to meet, and in the hot Missouri summers, they met under trees, tents, or out in the open. In producing this episode, we couldn't quite figure out how to communicate those nomadic years, so hang on, we're going to compress 13 years into a 2-minute summary of all of the meeting places between 1907 and 1920. The beginnings of our church started in the Coram House, owned by J.J. and Lily Coram, either here or here. Then it moved to a tent on Center Street near Boulevard. They met at Bethel Chapel on Campbell near Calhoun, where Pipkin now stands. They met in Woodman Hall on Prospect. Then for a season they met in various homes of the congregation's members. Then back at Bethel Chapel. They met under oak trees at Center and Rogers Street. They met in a tent at the corner of Calhoun and Campbell. Then in a storefront on Commercial Street. They rented a cottage on Maple Grove at East Division Street. They then moved to Boonville in Pacific. They moved back to Woodman Hall on Prospect, back to Bethel Chapel near Calhoun and Campbell. They met under a tabernacle at Boonville and Calhoun. They held meetings at Center and Robinson Street. They conducted more tent meetings near the old Frisco Hospital on Atlantic Street. Then back to Bethel Chapel again. They leased a lot on Center Street across from the courthouse and built a tabernacle there. Gospel Publishing House moved from St. Louis to Springfield, and people from GPH started attending this little church. The church purchased 2 lots at the corner of Calhoun and Campbell from a saloon owner. They met in the old City Hall building while their first permanent church was built on the corner of Campbell and Calhoun. And that is what we are celebrating this year, the first permanent home of our church at the corner of Campbell and Calhoun. These 13 years were a testament to the tenacity of a small group of people who relentlessly pursued God. Hopefully, during this current crisis, we're discovering our own spiritual tenacity and renewing our commitment to bringing His message to our community. This is a great time to introduce friends to our church. Maybe they would be willing to visit church with you, or possibly they'd like to check us out online before actually visiting. Prayerfully consider how you can make a difference in someone's life by inviting them to Central.